I recently played a game called Icons that I downloaded off of Steam. I heard about it through a couple YouTubers and a friend. I was hyped for it the day it was released, especially when I found out it was free. Icons Combat Arena is a Smash-inspired game featuring its own original characters and their own varying movesets and playstyles. I'm a big fan of Smash, particularly Melee, so I knew off the bat I was going to like it. I opened the game and went into a local mode against the CPU, and some of the characters were expectedly not unlocked, as I had assumed they'd be obtainable through playing, similar to Super Smash Bros. That was until I noticed the main menu had a shop, and I looked to see what could possibly be in the shop day one. It was a membership in which you could unlock the rest of the characters and any others that would be released in the future. At this point, I realized what I should have before even downloading the game. Maybe I was clouded by excitement for the game's release, or maybe I just failed to recognize something that should have been pretty apparent. Now let me address my biggest con with the game: Day 1 DLC. This game is free. They need to make money somehow. I don't care who you are. If you're working on something that takes time and effort, you should be paid for it. I understand that it's probably more appealing to make the game appear free and make the players pay money later, but I would rather just buy the game than spend $25 on 4+ more characters on a game I already downloaded. I personally don't like Day 1 DLC, and let's not beat around the bush. This is very much Day 1 DLC, no matter how you slice it. But I understand why it's done sometimes. One reason for Day 1 DLC is there's a lot of downtime before a game is finished and when it gets rated and discs get distributed, around 6 to 8 weeks. So a team of game developers might work on DLC in downtime, but it doesn't work in this case because DLC in this game would take much longer than 6 to 8 weeks. 4 whole characters in 6 to 8 weeks? Absurd. So, the second reason why Day 1 DLC may be acceptable is because statistics show that the longer you wait to release DLC, the less people in the player base will buy it. But Icons, we can all assume, has the intention to be around for a long time and be treated like a mainstay competitive game, kind of like how Rivals of Aether is right now. Showing up to big events, not as the main event, but as something where someone might come for Smash but stay for Rivals. So I don't think Icons counted on players leaving the community, but rather only anticipate its growth. So to market it as a free game, but to have a debatably essential part of your game locked behind a paywall seems kind of scummy from the outside. Now, it's not to say the game isn't fun. It absolutely is, and it felt great to play. It was fast, but not without mind games or lack of depth. I very much enjoyed it, but the paywall Day 1 left a poor taste in my mouth. Now that the largest gripe I have with the game is out of the way, I can get to the stuff I really enjoy about the game. The lobby system is fantastic. It makes it super easy to connect with friends. All you need to do is make a room, give it a name and a password, give that to your friend over something like Discord, and then you're in a game with them. It's simple and super fast. I did it myself and it took only 10 seconds. Fantastic, lovely, majestic. Mwah, that's a spicy meatball. The gameplay is really nice too. Some characters felt a little clunky to play, but that's probably because I wasn't used to the moveset yet. While others were like the standard Fox, dare I say, clone. Well, that may turn away some. I like that there's some familiarity among the fighters, so it makes it a little easier to start out. In a similar sense to Rivals, wave dashing is made a little easier by only needing to hold a direction than pressing Y and L. I feel teching gives you a lot more invincibility frames than in other games, but I'm not for sure. This makes the game a lot more accessible to new players, and I think that's what this game needs to become more popular. I've tried queuing up for quick matches a couple times online, but but I didn't get anything, and that's probably because the game isn't popular yet. So again, more accessibility means more players, and so I think that's really what the game needs right now, is to be more accessible. But from the footage I have seen, the online mode seems stable and more stable than for Glory mode in Smash 4, so that's a relief because the CPUs aren't a challenge, so it's good to play against a human. And when I say the CPUs aren't a challenge, it's because they're very dumb. When they grab you, they don't throw or pummel you, they just kind of stand there until you wriggle free. And they don't even try to recover half the time. They SD more than me, and that's saying a lot. The stages aren't that varying, but there are some that have their own little mechanics, but they really aren't that different. But it's only in early access right now, so I assume more maps will be added in the future. The last thing I want to talk about is the in-game currency, Spectra. Spectra can be used to buy player icons, skins for the characters, and characters themselves. But to get Spectra, you need to buy loot boxes. So before you say that my point about Day 1 DLC is ruined, there you go. Other than the whole buying characters part, I think Spectra is fine. While $1.50 for one loot box is kind of much, I'm not forced to buy them. I've heard complaints from other people about it, but I have personally no gripes with this. Let it be known that Wave Dash Games is planning on changing the way of gaining Spectra, so this could change in the future. Now it's time for my final thoughts. I've had a lot of fun with this game so far. Although I was put off by the Day 1 DLC, I still had a blast, and I can't wait to see what else Wave Dash Games has in store for the future. Alright, I've been Domo. This has been a pleasure, but I'm signing out for now. See ya!